Gila Monster and the Sun. Long ago, Gila Monster awoke after a long sleep underground. That is where she spent most of her time, but now she was ready for light, and so she crawled above ground, but there was no light. She looked up and saw the sky was dark. She looked around and saw that everyone was shivering. She listened and did not hear the sounds of the earth. No laughing children, no singing birds, no music, no voices. Everyone was silent. Everyone, it seemed, was afraid. Just then, Gila Monster heard the call to gather. Quickly, she slipped across the desert floor to join the council of the animals. She was shy. Often others hid from her, afraid of her forked tongue, her armored hide, and her deadly poison. Some thought her hideous, but now no one noticed her, for they were concentrating on the task. "We must find the sun," announced the wide-mouthed toad. "Yes, yes," agreed the jaguar. "We cannot live without the sun," the squirrels chattered. The deer looked up, their eyes big and round with longing. The coyotes and ringtails nodded. Soon everyone had set off to find the sun. The jaguars prowled through the forest. The turtles scuttled. The fish swam. The hares hopped. The snakes slithered. And so the Gila Monster, too, decided she would search for the sun. Days passed, but no matter where the animals looked, they could not find the sun. The birds flew higher and higher, searching behind cloud and mountain. Nowhere, nothing. Eagles swooped into the cones of volcanoes, but the Gila Monster heard the echo of their cries from below. No sun here. Eventually, the animals began to grow tired. One by one, dejected, they gave up. "We'll never find the sun," they whispered, and those whispers spread, and before long they had hunkered down in caves and nests and warrens. But the Gila Monster would never give up. She moved on, scrambling up to the tops of the volcanoes to look once more, and then slithering down into the deepest valleys. She slipped into villages to search by the light of people's torches. She moved along the lake shore and across the desert, and then suddenly one day she spotted a great rock, and from beneath that rock she saw a sliver of glowing light. "It's the sun," she cried, and she tried to lift the rock, but it was enormous, and despite her robust tail, she had only short, spindly legs. So she raced as fast as those legs would carry her to the Great Pyramid, and with the strength she had remaining, she climbed to the very top to see the emperor. There sat the great emperor, wearing his crown of golden and red and blue feathered plumes. But even he was sad. He was just about to send the Gila Monster away when she cried out, "I have found the sun. He is hiding beneath a great rock." The emperor smiled, for the first time in a long time. "How wonderful! And did you release the sun?" he asked her. Gila Monster looked down. She was ashamed and feared the emperor's fury. "I could not lift the rock. I tried and tried, but I failed," she confessed. But the emperor was not angry. "Never mind," he said, in a voice so commanding, the very stones in the pyramid shook. "We will solve this problem." And the emperor sent for the woodpecker. When the woodpecker appeared, the Gila Monster noticed that, like the emperor, the woodpecker wore a crown with long tufts of crimson feathers. "I am here to obey the command of the emperor," he said. "We are to take a journey with the Gila Monster," the emperor boomed. The woodpecker was startled, and for a moment he and Gila Monster looked at each other warily, but they knew they must work together. So the emperor, the Gila Monster, and the woodpecker stood off to the place of the great rock. "Now you shall peck through this rock," the emperor commanded the woodpecker, and he set to work so that the sound of his beak pecking the rock was heard across the land. People stopped working and looked up, wondering at the sound that echoed here and there and everywhere. The woodpecker did not stop, not even to take a breath. This was the most important job of his life. The Gila Monster offered praise, and for the first time the two seemed to be friends. At long last the rock began to crack, and when it cracked in half the sun was released. "We are saved," the woodpecker cried, but the Gila Monster looked directly at the sun and saw the truth. The sun did not open his eyes, and so the world remained cloaked in darkness. "Sun," the Gila Monster coaxed, "please, you must wake up. The world is dying. Nothing will grow without you. The people and animals are starving. We will be destroyed if you do not wake up." The sun remained unmoved. "I'm sorry, the Gila Monster sounds a lot like a dog, like my dog Jane." The emperor was wise. He issued a commandment. "We shall hold a great feast to welcome the sun back home. Prepare feasts and play music, dance and rejoice. All the animals and all the people will gather. Everyone is welcome." Soon the festival began. People danced with each other, and the animals danced together, and even the Gila Monster danced. Birds swooped overhead, and the sound of happiness filled the forest, the desert, the mountains and valleys. Finally, the sun could not resist this joy, and he opened his eyes and warmed the world. Everyone agreed. The Gila Monster and the woodpecker were heroes, and ever since that day, the people have honored them, and every year they celebrate the day the sun woke from his long slumber. That story, that legend, is an old Mexican legend, and let's see who we can credit for this wonderful story. This is by Amy Friedman and Meredith Johnson, and it was read by yours truly, Janice Bisset. Thanks for listening.